Right, Wigan 0, Manchester United 2. Jesus Christ, man. The stats are we hit the woodwork 3 times. One goal from open play, and a penalty, and a lot of possession against a pretty weak team. The same patterns keep coming up over and over again. And doing some review about the game and actually getting into the minute details of playing against Wigan, I mean, this was just more of looking at the same patterns of what's happening over and over again. Now, against a team like Wigan, right, we should be able to be carving them open through central areas, but we were seeing the same patterns as what we would see against Premier League teams. So again, the traditional arcing round from fullback to fullback, and not really any penetration through the middle of the pitch. Again, we created opportunities, but these are from turnovers of play, big long balls, Bruno dropping off, raking balls over the top, getting the ball out wide, crosses into the box, real kind of not very detailed or very careful kind of like build up of play in any sense. And you'd think, right, to get real confidence in the way that you play and the way you build up and try and actually build some attacks together when from the back, like we actually have possession. Now let's try and build. And there still wasn't really much of that. There's a few nice patterns of play here, not even patterns, just a few little moments of, I think, what was it? It was leading up to a chance where we had like good little bit of kind of like third man running, a 1-2, and yeah, you're almost surprised when you see Manchester United string like a nice little passage of play together centrally, because that's where all the danger is done, right? In between the 18-yard line, right? You can talk about half spaces all you want, but you really need to be in between the lines, and we need to be picking up the ball in way more dangerous areas centrally. And I'll do a video about it tomorrow. Just a few screenshots, obviously, of the game where it happens this all the time. You know, if you want to play Bruno, that's fine, right? But at the moment, Scott McTominay is playing with Bruno, so all of Bruno's like issues and weaknesses, like there's no one to cover for him in that sense. So every time plays being built up, Bruno will either drop onto the fullback's toes, and this happens every game. He drops on the fullback's toes, so then he can play like quarterback role with no danger whatsoever, right? Yeah, so you'll drop on the fullback's toes and play the quarterback role with no pressure on the ball whatsoever, and then just hit long diags or clip balls over the top or just lay it sideways. There's never any... Bruno will never drop off onto the fullback's toes, get the ball, then slide one into another midfielder for a give and go, and then penetrate. Like, that never happens. He will never take that risk. So he will drop off. Like, you can literally forget about McTominay. But McTominay basically has similar tendencies apart from dropping off, asking for the ball. So Bruno will drop off, ask for the ball off the fullback's toes as play is just building up, right? And if he doesn't do that, he has zero interest in getting involved in play at all. Now, that if you think that that's not an important element of being an advanced midfielder in that advanced midfield 8 position, if you don't think being involved in the play whatsoever and build up is important, that's fine. Okay, I can deal with that. I will humour you, right? But then if he's not going to do that, right, if Bruno's going to be the guy that doesn't get involved in any part of offering options for the wide players. So that the right back gets the ball, the right winger gets the ball, the centre midfielder gets the ball, Bruno or the right centre back gets the ball. Bruno Fernandes has got no interest, right, in offering. There's so many times where he was in acres of space, like he like it's weird because he'll get into that in these decent positions just by default by playing in those areas, and he just doesn't want it. He does not want the ball in those positions where like we need that advanced 8 to take the ball in those areas. It's literally the most important aspect of an advanced midfielder role. And against a team like Wigan, I thought that we would try and get into some of these habits where it's like a tune-up fight for a boxer, isn't it? You try and get your jab off. You know what I mean? Like get your jab working again, like whatever. Just simple like good footwork, just like simple stuff that you know. Simple things that are just like fundamentals that will get you back into the swing of things. We can build it from a okayish foundation. This is the perfect game to do that. And even though, yes, the stats look like United battered them, and like I suppose they're just not a good team, right? First half they like huffed and puffed. We just don't have any control in midfield because Bruno Fernandes and McTominay are two advanced midfielders. Like it literally gets to as simple as that. Like when do you see McTominay or Bruno offer for Garnacho or Rashford? It's like hardly ever. When do you see them offer up for the fullbacks? Like when do you see any of them drop an angle like they like off another player's shoulder and receive the ball like under pressure? Like I don't need you to be able to turn like Musiala and drop a shoulder and go past the player. Like I just need you to have the confidence in yourself and the belief to pick the ball up in just semi-dangerous central areas, just so we can break the lines. Because if you're advanced 8s, right, if they don't pick the ball up and take responsibility in those central areas, whether that's vertically from the fullbacks or from the holding midfielder or from the centre backs, right, or it's like horizontally, so square balls from the wingers or the other midfielders, etc., right? Like if you're not willing to take the responsibility there, then we can't actually then build up and have any attacks or any sustained pressure as a team. And the only thing we can rely on is a turnover possession off the other team and then transition in that way. So we can't like build up slow and then transition quickly through the midfield and then say either transition then, too many transitions. We can't go slow and then transition quickly through the midfield and then either look for a goal scoring opportunity or recycle the ball well and wait for the rest of the team to catch up and then we build pressure in the final third. Like, it just never happens. Yeah, and this is going to keep being the issue. Now, personally, I think Bruno hinders, even though it looks like he's the one that's doing everything still when you watch it. Or like he's involved in everything or whatever. He's involved in everything because he drops off and just gets the ball at the beginning of the build-up, lays it back off or sprays a ball out wide for no reason at all. Their team just shuffles over. So he looks, he's clever, Bruno. They're on about his IQ today. His IQ for fooling people in regards to his performance is really high. Like his emotional performance and his positional performance, like he's really clever at looking like he's like involved in a lot of stuff. Like his weak points, He looks like he's involved and he's popping things around, but he's not. Bruno's just really such a final action player. It's insane. But going back to the point, I would have two complete different profiles in the two advanced 8 positions. That's just where I'm at with it. Because that would just... Because at the end of the day, modern day football, everything's pretty much the same, right? Everyone plays pretty much the same way now. Pretty much. Especially in the Premier League. And basically the way that you define your style now is what types of advanced 8s are you playing? Do you know, you like Pep Guardiola and you end up playing a winger and a striker there because he was playing Bernardo Silva and Alvarez there, right, when Haaland was fit. So you've got Pep there playing two like really attacking but like technically good footballers. So no physicality, right? They get about the pitch, so they're nippy, but they're not big, they're not strong. Bernardo Silva, I know that, but think about it. Bernardo Silva and Alvarez, that's not strength there, right? But it's about those players can pick up balls pick up the ball in pockets, which is the most important thing. Now, what does have to happen, obviously, when players come back, so whether that's Casemiro or Eriksen, as soon as Eriksen was fit, he went back into the team, right, and we looked slightly better. But Mount's the player right there. That's why you bought Mount. So if Mount plays, can Mount then be the guy that picks up the ball in these like little tiny pockets and turns and can actually like give us some sustained pressure up the pitch, with in an almost risk-free manner? But yeah, realistically, we're still in this holding kind of pattern until players come back. That's not excusing how we play for the injuries. All I'm saying is that the next step in this kind of evaluation of either Ten Hag, of United, of the new ownership, the next step for the fans, for the ownership, for everything, is for players to come back, because then we then go to the next step, which is, right, Ten Hag, you don't have your excuse of players coming back. You're still playing exactly the same way. You're still not creating real clear-cut chances. What's the issue now? Do you know what I mean? So that's the next step. That's just whether people like it or not, whether people want Ten Hag to be sacked or not. The next step is for the injuries to come back. So you should imagine some players will be back for the Spurs game, if not definitely after the little mini winter break. So Wolves, I think, is the game after that. So then everyone's back for then. So that's the next step in this saga, and I think that's the next step for Radcliffe and Ineos, right, as well, and obviously for Ten Hag and this squad. Everyone's played. You want your best players playing, right? You want your best players back in the team. Again, not excusing Ten Hag, but we'll see what the Spurs. We just don't look like a good team. We don't have enough passages of play in a game that make you think that there's anything good there. But anyway, that is it for the What the F Happened show. It's the Madrid derby tomorrow, so I'll do a watch along for the Madrid derby tomorrow, and then before that there'll be a video on just a few elements of that game, just examples of what our midfield doesn't do. So yeah, anyway, peace.